Good morning everyone. So today we start the next topic, which is suspension and colloid. What is suspension and what is colloid? So suspension and colloid, to make you people understand, suspension is actually heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means what? Where the particles do not properly mix. And colloids are actually heterogeneous, but they appear to be homogeneous. They appear means it is a heterogeneous mixture, but they appear to be homogeneous. Suspension, particles of suspension you can see through naked eye. Particles of suspension you can see through naked eye. Particles of colloids you can also almost see with naked eye, but particles of colloids are very small and hence you cannot see with your naked eye. As because the particles are small, so it appears to be homogeneous. But it is actually a heterogeneous mixture. It is not a homogeneous mixture. This question comes in the exam, that though colloids are heterogeneous, but it appears to be homogeneous. Why? Because of small size of particles. Then suspension scatter light and colloids do not scatters light. So both of them has this common property, they scatter light and they also scatter light. Then comes particles settle down if left undisturbed. Means if we leave it undisturbed, then particles will automatically settle down. But colloids are particles that don't settle down. As a result, students, colloids show a different thing which is called Tyndall effect. You know what is Tyndall effect? I am explaining. Have you ever gone to a theatre, movie theatre? Suppose you sit and it is projected on the screen. A small ray of light becomes very big in between the air and it projects on the screen. Yes or no? Means from the projector a small ray of light, a beam of light, it comes and then it enlarges and then you can see the thing in the big screen. That is called Tyndall effect. So who is scattering light? The dust particles present in the air is scattering light. To explain you people better, I have these two solutions. You can see this is actually a suspension and this is actually a colloid. You know what is this? This is milk. Milk is a colloidal solution and this is actually a suspension. Now how it is suspension and how it is colloid, I will show you to you. Students, can you see the particles which are here? Just let me get to you. Can you see the particles? Can you see the particles inside this particular suspension? Can you see the particles here? Yes or no? But if I show you the milk, then it is not visible. Can you see the particles? You cannot see the particles. But you can see the particles of the particular, and you can see this you can see this one. See, if I leave it undisturbed, the particles get settled down. Have you seen? The particles are settling down. But if I try to mix it, again the particles there, you can see the particles inside the particular suspension. But here you cannot see the particles. This is a colloid, this is a solution. This is milk. So if I leave it undisturbed, suppose I leave it undisturbed for some time, you can see the particles settle down. I will show you. If I leave it undisturbed, the particles will settle down. So this is an example of colloid. For example, milk is an example of colloid, and this is an example of suspension. Now you can see the particles are getting settled down. The particles are getting settling down. So you can see here, niche dekho, you can see here, the particles here, they are getting settling down. For example, sand or sediment or like this. So this is actually a difference between, this is a colloid, it is heterogeneous, this is a colloid, it is heterogeneous but it appears to be homogeneous, and this is a suspension. So particles of the suspension can be seen with the naked eye, as we have seen. But this one you cannot see with your naked eye. Particles settle down if left undisturbed. This one, suspension. but this not. So milk is also a colloid. Air is also a colloid. You cannot see the particles. Obviously milk का तो दिखाई नहीं देगा. And one of the most important thing is that colloids show Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect actually, for example, a dense forest is there, and there is sunlight is coming through very small gap between the trees, so it spreads or not. That is called Tyndall effect. That is basically Tyndall effect. So comparison of suspension, colloid, and this you will get in the Google Classroom. No problem for that. But notes, everything you will be getting in Google Classroom only, and videos I will be sending you in WhatsApp. So the next part we will see, what do you mean by Tyndall effect? Tyndall effect is actually this. You can see in your books also. Tyndall effect is this, the spreading of light. And actually milk is also a colloid. So milk also scatters light. Okay, but because I don't have the torch, so I could not show you the scattering of light. If you pass a torch through, if you take a milk in a glass of water and you pass the light through the torch, you can see the path of the light visible. Okay. Okay, so these are the properties of colloid and these are the properties of suspension. Now, the next part which I will show you is the different types of colloid. Next which I will show you is the different types of colloid. Now the different types of colloid are many things. You have aerosol, then you have foam, then you have emulsion, then you have sol. These are the types of colloids. Then you have gel and many things. So in colloids we have two things. One is dispersed phase and one is dispersion medium. Two things are there. One is dispersed phase and one is dispersion medium. Dispersed phase means actually it is like solute in solution, and dispersion medium means the medium which you disperse, that is more of like solvent. So for aerosol, dispersed phase is liquid and dispersion medium is gas. For foam, dispersed phase is gas and dispersion medium is liquid. Emulsion, students, is very important, where both the dispersed phase and dispersion medium are liquid. So these are the different types of colloid. So I hope you have understood what is the difference between suspension and colloid. So once again I revise, there are three types: solution, suspension and colloid. Solutions is homogeneous, suspension is heterogeneous, colloids are heterogeneous but appears to be homogeneous due to smaller size. Solutions cannot scatter light, suspensions can scatter light, colloids can scatter light. Suspension solutions, you cannot see the particles with naked eye. Suspension you can see with naked eye, but colloids you again can't see with your naked eye. So these comparison also will get in the form of notes. I'll provide it to you. But these three are the initial part of the chapter, that is solution, suspension and colloid. So as I show you, remember one more thing: suspension, colloid. So milk is an example of suspension, and this is an milk is an example of colloid, and this is an example of suspension. Solution, take a salt solution, take a sugar solution. Water is a solution. Water is not a suspension. Suspension ka particles can be seen, colloid ka particles cannot be seen. Suspension is heterogeneous, colloid is also heterogeneous, but it appears to be homogeneous in nature. Thank you everybody. And with this, I think actually I will tell you, this is chaat masala and this is milk. So I guess I will drink a little bit. Till then you enjoy the class, suspension, colloid and solution. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's nice. Thank you.